The grand, ancient stone walls of Windsor and the meticulously manicured lawns of the British royal estates have long served as the backdrop for some of history's most spectacular displays of unity, celebration, and unyielding tradition. To the outside observer, the lives of those born into this centuries-old institution seem to unfold in a series of perfectly choreographed public appearances, where every smile, wave, and formal greeting is calculated to project stability and continuity. Yet, beneath the polished surface of ceremonial gold coaches, glittering tiaras, and historic family gatherings lies a deeply intricate and fragile network of interpersonal relationships that are subject to the very same human vulnerabilities, silent grievances, and drifting connections that affect any ordinary family. In recent years, the global public has watched with fascination as the internal dynamics of this prominent family have undergone profound shifts, transforming what once seemed like an unbreakable collective front into a complex landscape of shifting loyalties and quiet distance. Every major family milestone, whether a solemn funeral or a joyous wedding, now carries a heavy weight of anticipation as onlookers and commentators search for subtle clues regarding who remains within the inner circle and who has been quietly left on the periphery. This constant scrutiny creates an undercurrent of tension that accompanies every major announcement, turning personal celebrations into complex puzzles of social diplomacy where the guest list itself becomes a powerful statement of current family allegiances. If you want to stay informed about these fascinating developments and explore the deep stories behind the headlines, please take a brief moment right now to subscribe to our channel and turn on all notifications so you never miss an update. A grand family celebration is rapidly approaching on the horizon, scheduled for the 6th of June, and it promises to bring together multiple generations of this historic lineage for a day dedicated to romance, new beginnings, and shared happiness. The upcoming nuptials of Peter Phillips, the eldest grandson of the late Queen Elizabeth II, and his fiancée Harriet Sperling have naturally sparked an immense amount of interest among those who follow the intricate social tapestry of high society. Such an occasion would traditionally serve as a natural moment for a complete family reunion, a rare opportunity for cousins who spent their childhoods playing together on the sweeping grounds of Balmoral and Sandringham to put aside their daily obligations and gather in joyful celebration. However, as the final preparations are made and the elegant invitations are dispatched, it has become increasingly clear that this particular gathering will serve as a stark reflection of the current reality defining the modern family structure. The absence of one prominent name from the guest list has sent quiet ripples through the circles of royal commentators and enthusiasts alike, signaling that the passage of time and the weight of past decisions have created a profound and lasting distance that cannot be easily bridged even for the happiest of family occasions. The decision regarding who to include in such an intimate milestone is rarely simple when every choice is analyzed under a global microscope, and in this instance, the quiet exclusion of Prince Harry, the Duke of Sussex, speaks volumes about the silent boundaries that have been drawn behind closed doors. This developing situation highlights the reality that while public roles and official duties often dominate the conversation, it is ultimately the deeply personal, quiet interactions between cousins and siblings that dictate the true shape of family gatherings today. The intricate history shared by these individuals adds a layer of bittersweet nostalgia to the upcoming event, as memories of a more unified past contrast sharply with the quiet, deliberate choices being made in the present. As the countdown to the June ceremony continues, the atmosphere surrounding the preparations is filled with a mixture of eager anticipation for the couple's happiness and a quiet awareness of the complex family dynamics that will inevitably shape the day. The world remains captivated by how these personal relationships evolve over time, illustrating that even within the most traditional institutions, the human heart and personal loyalty remain the ultimate deciding factors in who stands together to celebrate life's greatest moments. The deliberate omission of the Duke of Sussex from the guest list for the upcoming wedding of Peter Phillips and Harriet Sperling is not merely a random administrative oversight, but rather a direct and tangible reflection of the profound interpersonal shifts that have quietly reshaped the inner architecture of the royal family over the last several years. Royal commentator Emily Nash, speaking during an exclusive conversation with Page Six to promote her upcoming live appearance on Hello Magazine's highly regarded A Right Royal podcast, shed crucial light on the quiet reality behind this notable absence, noting that the situation ultimately comes down to the natural cooling off of personal relationships. According to reliable insights shared by Nash, Peter Phillips and Prince Harry have simply not spoken to one another for the last few years, making the lack of an invitation a natural progression of a drifting connection rather than an explosive new insult. While the general public often searches for dramatic, singular moments of confrontation to explain these deep family divides, the reality is frequently much quieter, characterized by a slow, steady increase in distance as lives diverge and communication completely breaks down. In sharp contrast to this growing estrangement from the Duke of Sussex, Peter Phillips maintains an exceptionally close, fiercely loyal, and deeply protective relationship with his other cousin, Prince William, the Prince of Wales. Over many tumultuous years, the eldest son of Princess Anne has served as a reliable, steady sounding board for the future king, offering a safe harbor of absolute discretion and familial support amidst the immense pressures of their public lives. This deep-seated loyalty between Peter and William ultimately made the exclusion of Harry an entirely logical decision for the upcoming June 6th nuptials, because the simultaneous presence of both warring brothers would have instantly shifted the entire narrative of the day. A wedding is universally meant to be the happiest day of a couple's life, a sacred space reserved for shared joy and uncompromised celebration. And introducing the heavy undercurrent of tension between William and Harry would have inevitably transformed the romantic milestone into a high-stakes media spectacle. Had the Duke of Sussex been invited, his arrival, his seating placement, and every single glance exchanged across the aisle would have become the absolute focal point of the entire event, completely overshadowing the love story of Peter and Harriet. The decision to prioritize a peaceful, harmonious environment for the bride and groom represents a smart, protective measure designed to shield the couple from the intense distractions that have frequently plagued the family over the past year. To fully understand the depth of this current distance, one must look back to the solemn spring afternoon of April 17, 2021, during the poignant funeral of Prince Philip, the Duke of Edinburgh, at St. George's Chapel in Windsor. On that historic and sorrowful day, Peter Phillips was deliberately positioned by palace officials to walk directly between Prince William and Prince Harry as the funeral procession moved somberly through the castle grounds. This specific arrangement was not accidental. Peter was intentionally chosen as the older cousin to act as a physical and emotional buffer, a quiet peacemaker tasked with managing the raw, visible tension between the two deeply estranged siblings during a moment of global grief. Serving as the middle point between two warring brothers under the intense gaze of millions of television viewers around the world must have been an incredibly difficult, emotionally draining burden for the Princess Royal's son to bear. In the years that have swiftly followed that somber afternoon in Windsor, a massive amount of water has flowed under the bridge, further widening the chasm between the California-based Duke of Sussex and his paternal relatives in the United Kingdom. The relationship between Peter Phillips and his cousin Harry was put under severe, unprecedented strain following a series of highly publicized, explosive media projects that laid bare the family's most private vulnerabilities and internal disputes. The global release of Harry and Meghan Markle's deeply personal Netflix docuseries followed closely by the publication of Harry's raw, tell-all memoir. Spare effectively shattered any remaining illusions of familial privacy and created a deep sense of betrayal among those who value absolute discretion. For traditional and fiercely loyal family members like Peter, who have spent their entire lives operating under a strict code of quiet dignity and public silence, the public airing of private grievances and intimate conversations was viewed as a profound breach of trust. This breach of trust makes a return to casual family gatherings almost impossible without a lengthy, sincere process of reconciliation that has clearly not yet taken place. As the final arrangements for the June ceremony are solidified, the stark contrast between the included and the excluded members of the family highlights the enduring consequences of these media revelations. The upcoming celebration will feature a prominent gathering of the senior royal circle, with Prince William and the Princess of Wales, Kate Middleton, fully expected to grace the event with their presence, alongside an anticipated appearance by King Charles III himself. The presence of the monarch and the heir to the throne underscores the high esteem in which Peter Phillips is held within the family, reinforcing the idea that this wedding is a moment of deep unity for those who have chosen to remain aligned with the institution. The gathering will also feature a joyful assembly of the younger generation, including expectations that William and Kate's children will attend, alongside Peter's devoted sister, Zara Tyndall, and her husband, Mike, who are confirmed as definitive guests. The inclusion of Harriet Sperling's daughter from her first marriage, Georgina, further adds to the warm, family-oriented atmosphere, showcasing a modern, blended family structure that reflects the changed face of contemporary society. Yet, even as this picture-perfect family portrait comes together in the English countryside, the silent absence of Prince Harry will stand as a powerful reminder of the boundaries that now govern this historic house, proving that personal loyalty to the future king remains the ultimate currency of belonging within the modern royal circle. The joyful gathering scheduled for the 6th of June represents far more than a simple romantic celebration. It stands as a vivid, living demonstration of the modern, blended reality that defines the contemporary royal family. At the absolute heart of this upcoming event is a genuine, interconnected family unit that embraces new beginnings, symbolized beautifully by the expected attendance of young Georgina, Harriet Sperling's daughter, from her first marriage to Antonio St. John Sperling. This inclusive approach to family life highlights a progressive shift within an institution that was once defined by rigid, unyielding rules regarding marriage and lineage, showing a softer, more relatable face to the global public. Adding to the intrigue and significance of the guest list is the anticipated attendance of Princess Beatrice and Princess Eugenie, the daughters of the Duke of York, which will mark their first major public appearance alongside senior members of the royal family in a considerable amount of time. Their presence at the ceremony is highly symbolic, functioning as a quiet, reassuring signal that despite the intense storms that have battered their immediate household, there remains a secure and permanent place for them within the wider family circle. It is essential to recognize, as royal commentator Emily Nash wisely pointed out, that this wedding is fundamentally a private family occasion rather than an official state event, meaning that while one cannot read too much definitive political meaning into the arrangements, it remains absolutely fascinating to observe how these distinct family members interact with one another away from the strict confines of official duty. This delicate balance of inclusion and distance becomes even more pronounced when examining those who will not be present to witness Peter and Harriet exchange their vows. While Beatrice and Eugenie are welcomed with open arms, the chances of their mother, Sarah Ferguson, the Duchess of York, attending the nuptials are considered by close observers to be slim to absolute zero. Experts confidently predict that neither the Duchess nor her former husband, Prince Andrew, will make an appearance at the June ceremony, following a period that can only be described as catastrophic for them as individuals and as a former couple. The severe legal and social fallout surrounding the Duke of York, culminating in his dramatic withdrawal from public duties, has drawn a firm, undeniable line between his private household and the official, respected image that the monarchy must carefully project to the world. By keeping the guest list focused strictly on those who reinforce a sense of stability, continuity, and quiet dignity, the family ensures that the focus remains entirely on the happiness of the newlyweds, rather than the lingering shadows of past controversies. To fully appreciate the significance of Peter Phillips within this intricate family dynamic, one must look closely at his unique position as the eldest grandchild of Queen Elizabeth II and Prince Philip. Born in November 1977 to Princess Anne and her first husband, Captain Mark Phillips, Peter was entered into the world without an official royal title, a deliberate and pioneering choice made by his mother to afford her children a chance at a more normal, unburdened life. Growing up at Gatcombe Park, Peter developed a reputation for being grounded, practical, and fiercely hardworking, qualities that earned him the deep affection and trust of his grandmother, the late Queen. He pursued a successful career in sports management and corporate hospitality, demonstrating an ability to navigate the commercial world while maintaining absolute discretion regarding his illustrious relatives. This blend of real-world experience and deep-seated institutional loyalty transformed him into a natural, steady anchor for his younger cousins, particularly Prince William and Prince Harry, as they navigated their own turbulent paths in the public eye. His life took a deeply joyful turn when he met Harriet Sperling, a dedicated pediatric nurse and specialist whose career has been defined by compassion, resilience, and a quiet commitment to helping children and families facing immense medical challenges. Harriet's background outside the glittering bubble of high society brings a refreshing, authentic energy to Peter's life, and her ability to seamlessly integrate her daughter, Georgina, into this new chapter has won the quiet admiration of the entire family. The couple's shared values of hard work, privacy, and devotion to family have created a powerful bond, making their upcoming wedding a source of genuine, unalloyed celebration for a family that has endured a grueling period of health challenges, public scrutiny, and internal divisions over the past year. As the final hours tick down toward the ceremony, the beautifully arranged chapel stands ready to welcome a gathering that perfectly mirrors the complex, evolving nature of human relationships under the spotlight of history. The absence of Prince Harry and the quiet exclusion of the York parents are not merely signs of division, but are the practical protective boundaries that a modern family must establish to safeguard its most precious, joyous moments from becoming global media circuses. When the music begins to play and Harriet walks down the aisle to join Peter, the focus will not be on the empty seats or the distant figures in California or the quiet corners of Windsor, but rather on the resilient, supportive network of cousins, siblings, and elders who have chosen to stand together in absolute unity. This historic day will be remembered as a moment when the British royal family looked directly toward the future, embracing a blended, modern identity while holding fast to the core values of loyalty, mutual protection, and quiet dignity that have sustained them through the ages, proving that even amidst profound change, the strength of those who choose to stay remains unbroken.